Okay, this is lesson 14 for 8th grade, and today we're talking about solving with evaluation and inspection. Alright, basically how to solve some problems using both of these techniques. Today is some basic algebra stuff, so today is pretty important. I've got a few examples that we're going to cover. We're going to introduce what these two things are, even though the students have seen them before. And today took a little bit longer to get through some other things, so we'll probably spend tomorrow also on this just to make sure we have a pretty good handle on it. Okay, so let's jump in and look at what evaluation is. Just first of all, we can see the root of this word is evaluate, and then the root of this word is inspect. So we're going to be doing some detective work, you might say. Alright, so evaluation, this is a lot of info, and I'm just going to break it down for everybody. Sometimes we use variables in mathematics, and especially we use them a lot in algebra, and those are our letters. Letters in algebra are variables because their values can change. If we look at something like this right here, P equals 4S, this is technically the formula for the perimeter of a square, where S is the side length. So we got a square, S, 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 S. Alright, squares all have the same sides, so we could add up all the side lengths, all four of the side lengths to get the perimeter. That's one way to do that, distance around, remember. But since all sides are the same, the easier thing to do is whatever side length you have, multiply it times 4. So let's say our side length was 2 here. I would just take, okay, side length's 2, put it into our formula. 4 times 2, perimeter is 8. And whatever units those would be, feet, inches, whatever we're dealing with. So that would be an evaluation problem, because basically what happens is we have a formula, and then we are told what value to put in for a specific variable. In this case, we would be given a side length, and then we would put in what we needed to and solve from there. So yes, you can figure out the perimeter from the side length of a square, and that's how you would do it. Now in this equation, variables P and S, those are the letters, those can change. P is going to change with however S changes. So if S is 1, we'll get a perimeter of 4. If S is 2, we're going to get a perimeter of 8. So P will depend on whatever the letter S is. Perimeter will depend on the side length. Now our constant in this would be 4. 4 isn't going to change. 4 is always 4. That's a constant in our problem here. So let's try an evaluation problem, except for we're going to use the rectangle perimeter formula. Our rectangles are a little different because oftentimes they have one side longer than the other two, or two sides. So we have a width and a length. Okay. Now, just for geometric purposes, squares are rectangles. It's just that when that's the case, width and length are the same. So just so that's out there. But it says the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W, where L is the length and W is the width. Okay? So we have perimeter equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. Okay? What is the perimeter of a rectangle that is 8 feet long and 6 feet wide? Okay? Well, this is definitely an evaluation problem because we are given the values to put in. So I'm going to put in 8 for length here. That's going in for length. And 6 feet wide. That's going in right there. So we will have 2 times 8 plus 2 times 6. Okay? 2 times 8, that gives us 16. 2 times 6 is 12. If we add 16 and 12, we should get 28. Alright? Another way we could have done this without using the formula, I guess. We could have put in our width and our lengths here. Length was 8, 6, 6. We could have added up all the sides. 8 plus 6 is 14. Plus another 14 would give us 28 as well. So we're looking at 28 feet there. I like the formula better. Everything's set up. You don't got to draw a diagram. There you go. 28 feet. Obviously, many ways to do that. But that won't be as obvious in the next problem here. So now we're going to be thinking a little backwards with our next one. Now we have the perimeter of a rectangular room is 30 feet. If the length of the room is 9 feet, how wide is the room? So now we know the perimeter. We have perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. What are we given? Well, we're given the perimeter. P is 30. And we're given the length of the room, so that's 9. 2 times L there. 2 times 9 plus, we do not know what the width is. We are solving for the width there. Now before we do anything, I want to get this multiplied out, and we'll see where to go from there. So we're going to leave 30 here. 2 times 9 is 18 plus that. Alright. Now, there are a couple different ways we could do this. I like to go ahead and use inverses to solve for this type of equation. I know that I'm going to look at my variable. There's two things being done to it. First thing we're doing is we're multiplying this variable by 2. The second thing we're doing is we are adding 18 to whatever we get for this value. So, one way to think about this. Let's cover this up for a second. 18 plus what is going to give us 30? Okay, well 18 plus 12 gives us 30, so I know that this thing is going to be 12. 2 times W is going to be 12, alright? So that's always one thing we can do. Cover that up, whatever the variable is and what's attached to it. 18 plus what is going to give us 30? 12, that'll be 12. Now here's how I show that more mathematically. I know that right now we are adding to whatever's over here. I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract 18. Our whole goal is to get 2W by itself. I want to get this. I want to get that alone. Once I get that alone, we're one step closer to figuring this out. So 18 plus, so I'm going to do minus 18. And the reason I'm doing that is to get rid of this 18 over here. But remember, we have an equal sign and we got to keep things balanced. I have to take away 18 over here as well. So these will cross. 30 minus 18 gives us our 12. We should have expected to see that. Because when we covered this up, we knew 18 plus 12 gave us 30. So now I know that 12 is 2 times W. And we have 2 times W. So we're going to do the inverse of multiplying whatever's happening to that. So cover up our variable again here. 2 times what gives us 12? Well, 2 times 6 does. And the way that we would figure that out more mathematically, we're multiplying here, so we're going to divide. We're going to divide by 2 on both sides. 2, those cancel, divide by 2 here, we get 6. So W equals 6. I had a lot of students answer 12 because what they did, they got their 30 minus 18 and they're like, oh, okay, it's 12. Well, you got to remember that rectangles are set up like this. We had 2 lengths, 9 and 9. There's our 18, but one side is not 12. We've got 2 sides to split 12 up into, so 6. So 6 plus 6 is 12, 9 plus 9 is 18, perimeter is 30. If we were to put 12 here, we would definitely add up more than 30 feet. So gotta be careful with that one. And one of our last problems I'll also show you, given a multiple choice question, kind of a tricky way to get around some of this solving stuff. So yeah, 6 feet is where we're at there. Alright, inspection. Inspection is when we're given more of a mathematical equation, such as 4x equals 20, 4 times x equals 20. Solution is 5 because 4 times 5 is 20. Alright? So that's more of an inspection thing. We're going to be solving something like that. It's very similar to evaluation. We're not told what this value is going to be. We're figuring out what that value is. What that value is going to be. All right, it would be something like this. This is an example in the book. I'm not going to go over it, but if a taxi company charges $2 flat fee plus $3 per mile, then the cost C in dollars of a taxi ride is shown by this formula. So 3 times however many miles ago, but no matter what, as soon as you get in that cab, you got $2 to pay, and that should give you your total cost. Okay, so this would be an inspection type of a problem. So this would also be an inspection type of problem. Just like our evaluation problem, if we're really not sure what to do, remember, we do want to get this thing by itself. The ultimate goal is to get x by itself completely. Cover this up. 20 plus what gives you 80? Okay, well, 20 plus 60 gives you 80, right? So we know that 2x has to be 60. Okay, so 2 times x, if that's 60, 2 times what gives us 60? 2 times 30 gives us 60. So we should be getting this one right here, and I'm just going to highlight that right now. We should be getting x equals 30, and I'll show you. One of your options here, 20 plus 2x equals 80. Now I look at what's happening to this 2x here. We're adding 20 to it, so I'm going to do the opposite or the inverse. Subtract 20 from both sides. This will cancel out. 20 minus 20 is 0, so I'm not going to put anything there. I'm going to drop down my 2x, and that happens to be positive. 80 minus 20, that is 60. And there we go. 2x is equal to 60. Now we're going to do what else is happening to our variable here? X. It's being multiplied by 2. So I'm going to do the inverse or the opposite of multiply and divide by 2 on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. It's going to cancel that. It's going to cancel these 2's out, so you're left with just 1x. And 60 divided by 2 is 30. So we should be getting 30 there. I'm going to check my time quick. Alright, we are running out of time here. One other thing you could have done, actually 2 other things. You could take, since this is a multiple choice question, put in certain values of x for the number, or for the variable. It's kind of a trick to get around it. We'll see that if we would have put 40 in for x, we would have done 2 times 40 and gotten 80, plus 20 is 100. Well, 100 does not equal 80, so that can't work, so we could have eliminated 4. Now 3, that's the right answer. If we would have put x equals 30 in, 2 times 30 is 60, plus 20 is 80, 80 equals 80, well that's got to be a right answer. Now for this class, we're not going to have a lot of multiple choice questions. That won't be an option. We're going to have to be able to solve like this, either by covering up like that and getting to our variable, or going through the math like that. Alright, this is lesson 14 for 8th grade, and homework is on the link.